Okay, the Pattern app. I don't know how many of you have heard about this, but I cannot recommend it enough. It's a great app to one introduce you to the mechanics of what astrology is as a study, as a discipline, if you will. You're talking about an esoteric tradition that has gone on for millennia. Every culture in human history has had some form or aspect of astrological insight. The Mayans, the Chinese have very complex, which is has similarities to like the Western tradition sides, European sides, but I feel like they're all just intermingled and they've all exchanged over the millennia as well. You know what I mean? Same information, just it evolves differently in different places. I'm going to walk you through this app with some images in the actual recording I put on my YouTube. But if you have the app, it's easy to download. It's free to download. You can do a paid version, which I really recommend because you get to hear Lisa Donovan. She is, I believe, one of the co-founders, but she does all the voiceover work, and it's like butter. Oh, Lisa, if you're out there, I would work with you. I just want to be near you. Oh, you're so wonderful. I just your voice is it is a source of comfort for me, and I am very thankful that you exist doing what you do. So shout out to Lisa because I have a crush. But anyway, let's talk about the pattern. Again, it's a natal chart app that takes a snapshot of the moment you were born, wherever that was. It takes a snapshot of the sky. And if you are of the opinion, I want you to be open minded and curious. That's the whole point of all of this divinity stuff. Just be open, just be curious, and start to play. Play with the unknown. This is really fun because I have never had an app cold read me, like cold read the shit out of me like this one has. It is almost unnerving how accurate some of this information can be. And disclaimer, as with anything, a lot of people don't look at this as a science. Again, even though there's a history of it, I would say you cannot completely live and it's not predictive. You can't live your life based on astrology, right? Alone, because that's just fate and free will. Free will's the dominant, right? We always have choice. Other people have choice. There's always the chaotic element. There's always the randomness of living, right? But it is unbelievable the information and just the insight you can get into yourself and your personal journey. Who doesn't love to learn about themselves? Like everyone loves to talk about themselves or get to know themselves, right? We all love learning about ourselves. This app is for you. Like I'm not getting paid, I swear, yet. I'm just saying if Lisa calls. But anyway, I can't recommend it enough because it also uses Jungian psychology, Carl Jung, and it breaks down what these influences or these energetic archetypal patterns mean for you as an individual and you as an individual in reference to the other, the outside, whether that be culture, whether that be relationships to your intimate, friends, family, and romantic partners, or the collective energies that are affecting the collective, all of us together, influences that are shifting culture and the course of humanity. And I know that sounds so crazy, and I know, again, be open, but I think once you are able to admit that there are things working around us more than you realize or more than you can see or hear or have empirical evidence for. Once you realize that there are forces, like I know radio waves exist. I don't see them, but I know they are real. Just because we can't test a lot of this energetic, spirit, universal, whatever, ether, whatever you want to call it, God source energy, just because we can't test it yet where we're at as a species doesn't mean it's not real, Ugh, I would say 200 years ago, we didn't know what radio waves are, but yet here we are. So where are we going to be in 1,000 years? Just think about it. Anyway, so the pattern. I love it because it's like any divination tool. It is astrology is a mirror. It tells us who we are, what makes the world go around in certain ways, what influences are pushing the world forward, whether we realize it or not. I always say astrology is like a language. You don't need to know it, to survive or to even thrive. But if you do understand it it can help you make some really intense life altering decisions when you come upon those roads. It can give you peace, it can give you guidance, it can give you just food for thought on how to handle situations or different dynamics with people you know. Just to be aware of certain influences that could potentially shape the course of the next month, the next year. Again, it's not predictive, but if you can be in alignment with these energies that are at work at flow, to be forewarned is to be forearmed. I love that phrase, and that's what I use astrology like. One, first and foremost, forewarned and meaning understanding myself. If I understand myself better, self mastery is the most important vital thing you can do in your life to navigate, to experience this world, to be a person that others interact with, in a rich and life altering, gratifying way. So I really want to start with this is use it as a mirror. Just go into it open minded and start to learn about yourself, whether it's true or not, even though I think it's going to resonate really deeply and I think it's going to just make your jaw drop. It's so crazy, but use it as a mirror. And it's so simple. Like I said, you just need three things, honestly, to do your birth information. And the more exact you can be, the better. But one, your birthday. The second one is the time of day you were born. If you can look on your birth certificate, or maybe your mom's got a really good memory. But the more exact, I'm talking within like 2 to 3 minutes, the closer you get to your actual birth time, because the sky is constantly shifting as the earth rotates. So that's why there can be so many different variances, and like, so you have 1,000 Geminis, but they can be so different from each other because they have different placements from different sky placements from when they're born. I should back up. People who subscribe to astrology and who like to explore it and utilize it, there's I would say a consensus from a lot of sacred texts, from a lot of mediums I've read and watched over the years, just in a lot of writings with people who've had near-death experiences. There is this idea, again, to each his own, but just from what I know in my life, our souls, before we incarnate, have free will. They have a mission, and there are certain things our souls come into this world to do, certain people to meet, certain experiences to have, certain things to accomplish. And you can almost look at your astrological natal chart setup as almost like a blueprint of what your soul wants to do, what it's here to accomplish. And that comes in the forms of our strengths, our weaknesses, our life ambitions and goals, which again, if you really get into the meat of it, you can tell a lot about a person just from their chart. It's a deep study. So there are a lot of levels. Even if you just want to be a beginner and just flirt around with it and try and understand what a Cancer means versus like a Taurus, it's got everything for everyone. So I really recommend it. Birthday, time, as exact as you can, the actual time of day, like within minutes, and then your location, where you were born, what city you were born in. Because depending on what side of the earth, what hemisphere, it all affects the sky's placement for you, and arguably your soul's purpose, why it chose to come here, what things your soul needed to be set up with in this life to help you learn the things you came here to learn. Big picture, but it's also just stupid fun if you want it to be that too, even though it's not, and it's really going to surprise you. So I'm really excited to get some feedback. Comment below if you have had any experience with astrology, or you have some eye-opening experiences with people, and like just in the conversations or talking about this stuff. I'd love to hear from you. Comment below. I'd love to hear from you. So let's just kind of walk through the app. Like I said, this comes from it makes really intense, complex traditions, 1,000-year-old traditions, really accessible through Jungian psychology, taking these influences, these aspects in your chart, and giving them a psychological basis. How this translates to you, literally, as a person, as an individual, rather than saying, you have your moon sign is in, Scorpio, and your ascendant. This will actually tell you what those aspects turn into, how they manifest in a person. And Lisa Donovan, the one I was telling you about who narrates all this, I don't know if it's in the paid version, but there's she talks you through your entire chart in essence. And I think if you don't pay for it, you just have to read it all. But either way, we love learning about ourselves, so it's all good. But it's called a pattern for this reason, because what it does is it analyzes all these different cycles, these life moments, these shifting cycles and seasons in our life, and it's made to help us navigate this stuff, understand ourselves better, but to navigate these growth opportunities, this potential, these lessons that are coming for us, whether you're aware of them or not. And that's what I kind of want to make key. Like, I know I subscribe to this stuff 100% because I've seen it at work in my life. I've seen these principles, and I'll talk a little more about that later. But let's just go through the app real quick. Just to start it off, let's go to the lens. And you got 4 main categories. So the lens, which is really simple, it gives you the date. It's what's affecting the world currently today. This can be the general thing you see in the newspapers all the time, or like the daily Google astrology thing. But this one's, what I love about it is there's so much detail, and it's direct. Not always, but it's direct. I would say it distills it down. It distills the idea of what is going on. And again, the lens is pretty universal, or it is global. These are energies that are affecting us as a collective. Like, whether what's going on with the planets now, look at it like that. What energies are kind of influencing the world from day to day, things to look out for. And it can be so simple as there's a little more intensity in how you approach the day. For whatever reason, Mars, it doesn't matter. It just, if you have that idea of being forewarned, people might be a little more today. Like, you always hear Mercury retrograde, and how people and things go haywire, or hospitals like fill up with the weirdest like emergency room issues. There's, on full moons, it's just, there's something to a lot of it. We are beings, animals in essence, that are governed by the same energies that everything else around us. The tides move because of these magnetic waves from the moon, the pull. The animals like navigate, thousands of miles annually just because they have this internal system. We're no different. We're just removed from nature, so we don't think of ourselves that way. But that makes us no less susceptible to a lot of these natural laws and energies that are working around us all the time. So again, be open-minded. The lens, today it says relationship passion. So it's got a little blurb, and then if you go deeper, again, this might be the paid version, but Lisa gives me a breakdown in 4 little chapters, and they're only about 2 or 3 minutes a piece, but it's just how she flushes it out. It's succinct, it's gorgeous, and she will put you to sleep. Like, I would buy meditations from her. Again, in love with her. The second category is discover. This is, I think, one of the best features of the whole thing, because it is like an astrology crash course. It has everything here. And again, she explained it all. So even if you don't want to read, it's fun to just put one of these on while you're driving. And if you love to learn, if you want to learn a little more in an easy way, perfect. It's just the perfect app for it. They've made it so accessible. But it goes through timing that's happening in the world, big overarching themes that are like affecting the collective, but maybe you individually. It has a relationships section, like relationship dynamics to watch out for. But then it's also just, my favorite part is it's got a part on like wounded healing and change things, wounds that might be activated from your past. One of the biggest uses for this whole app, and why it's brought me so much growth, is because when I started going to therapy, I started journaling. And after a while, it can get a little repetitive until you get that free flow going. This app, and just getting some of the things that it would bring up, especially around my healing and areas of my life shadow aspects, created the best journaling prompts I've ever had. It's just amazing how much self-knowledge I've gotten out of just a few prompts here and there, a few ideas, seeds planted that have really made me look at myself in a different way, given me a different dimension to myself, and that have unlocked a treasure trove of just like why I behave the way I do, why, considering why I choose the people I do in my life, X, whatever you want to put into that equation, but it is awesome. And if you are in a place in your life where you're really trying to explore and do that deep dive and just to really to do the growth, to do the work, to better yourself, this is awesome. And I can't stress it enough. I really like it. Out of the Discover whole area, the school, if you will, my favorite, and if you're a newbie, it's got everything for people who really want to like refine their knowledge. But for newbies or people who have no idea about astrology, there's a section called Astrology 101, the archetypes. And literally, it just goes through what a Cancer is, all the different signs, what are the characteristics of a Cancer. So if your sun sign, your main sign, what most people know, is a Leo, what is that? What are the archetypal uh, characteristics of a Leo? Whether they resonate with you or not, as you get into it, you'll realize there's a lot more affecting because you also have a moon sign and an ascendant. The moon sign is the inner world, sun sign is what we project out. Fascinating. Anyway, read about yourself. It is. This app will make you literally just like pearls. Like it is so fun. I love to pull this out at parties too. Just like if you meet someone new or someone's being sassy and then you get a little look and you just ask them what their birthday is. It is crazy to get people involved in this. And like I just love reading it with friends because one, I get to learn about them in a new way, but also seeing their reactions and talking about their reaction of how they feel this information is hitting, if it's resonating or not. And I've just had some amazing, brilliant conversations with people, just really bonding experiences, which is interesting because the next third category out of the four is bonds. Okay, this is for all my romantics, my women's, my gays. The bonds part is awesome. Yes, it can be platonic, it can be friends, family. You take you in your birth chart and you put up another one next to it, and it cross references your charts together and highlights the good aspects and a lot of the challenging aspects, the contrasting ones, if you will. I don't want to say positive or negative because we each come in with our own set of things, our own growth edge, things we want to grow and achieve on a personal level. But if you are starting to date someone or you have a partner and you want more insight into the dynamics of potentially, your relationship together, whether that's communication styles, shadow aspects, how we deal with our pain, with our hurt, when we might be hurting more, it is fascinating. I just, I would say, I don't want to say I run to this all the time, but you better be damn sure I'm going to check this. If things get serious, I'm going to explore dynamics. And I think that is no different than what people again have been doing. There's still traditions alive today, like in India and China, like matchmakers, like this stuff is taken into account and treated seriously because there's something to it. People, again, how much you want to subscribe to it, but these traditions exist for a reason. And I think once you start to explore, you might have some opinions yourself. So I'm really excited. Skeptics or not, come in, look at this bond. It is fun regardless. Everyone loves to read their horoscope in the paper. Well, used to, right? Or see it on Google. But God, I just dated myself, didn't I? Anyway, not the paper, the daily horoscope, just to have fun with it because astrology is fun. It is really neat to have that idea, that insight, the know. So bonds, don't become addicted to it. Please promise me that. But it is interesting. And I don't want you to promise me you're not going to weaponize this. Because if you learn something about someone you're with, and don't hold it over their head. This is not information to be weaponized. This is all for love and light. But if they have a tendency to be jealous, it's good to know, right? It's good to know. The last one the last section is the vault. And this is probably my favorite just because it's about me. And I think it might be your favorite because it breaks down your natal chart specifically. And if you hit this, there's a circle up top. There's a circle icon up top, and that's your chart. If you hit that, it's going to give you all your information right out the gate. It's going to take that's the snapshot that they're building all of this on, with the programs that have gotten so advanced. But if you do pursue this over time, if you learn more over, your life, you're going to start understanding these aspects a lot more. What your sun is doing in a certain sign. So my sun's in Gemini. I'm a Gemini. What else is in my Gemini? How do those planetary alignments, energies play together? Do they conflict, or are they working together harmoniously? Just a lot of aspects to consider. Where's my moon? How do I internally feel? I may present as a Gemini. My moon's in Taurus, which is very sensual, very earthy, very stable, where a Gemini is very flighty and very high energy and whimsical. So those conflicting signs, again, not conflicting but contrasting, present certain dynamics, arguably, in my personality that manifest in ways that people, I think I've had good conversations with. Frustrations, you might say. Look at your chart. Fascinating. My pattern is, I think, the most important for anyone starting out with this. The My Pattern section is going to break down what each planet does in your chart, how it's moving, how it's activated in your life, how your blueprint, in essence, according to astrology. Take this with a grain of salt. Again, I want to be clear. I am very practical and scientific. There are environmental causes, there are free will, there are life experience things that shape our world. And I don't want to sugarcoat anything like real traumas. I know, though, after understanding my astrological chart and placements, a lot of the things I've gone through, it's actually brought a lot of healing to me to understand that there are certain influences that are inescapable. There are certain things in life that we are meant to go through, and the painful brings us to somewhere better. And I just really want to encourage people, again, I don't want to dismiss anyone's experience or talk over any some real suffering that's happened in life. But for me, this app has brought me a lot of healing. It's brought me a lot of courage, and it's helped me to look at my wounds and my suffering, in essence, that I've experienced at certain times in my life, and given me a new perspective on it to help me heal it, which is just invaluable to me. It's helped me to move beyond. And I think it can do the same for a lot of you if you approach it with the right mindset. Again, my pattern, it's your personality traits. Why are you the way you are? This one is the most fun, I think. And if you don't believe it, I would give this, let's just play a test. Let's have a game. Let's play a game. Download this app, get together with your friend or your partner, and do the My Personality Traits under My Pattern, and just pick one and have the other person read it back to you. Because one, you're going to get their reaction, and you're going to know right away if they agree with it or not. Two, you'll be reacting in real time to it, and it's a fun bonding experience to see how each other reacts. Again, everything's a mirror for us, especially our loved ones. So my pattern, that's your personality traits. That's who you are. That's what you're about. That's your makeup. Impacting me now is probably the second most important thing I do with this app. The impacting me now is, as our soul, as our life unfolds, there are certain seasons, certain patterns in life that come up in cycles. It's cyclical. There's certain seasons where we experience loss, where we have new life, whether that's a new job, new relationships, but then there's periods of plateau where it's more about maintaining or building slowly. The temporary cycles impacting you part tells you what influences are impacting I would say about a year out. Because these usually last, it can be anywhere from a few weeks to a year and a half. What cycles, what energetic impacts are happening in your chart that you, if you are aware of, can really help you navigate some really intense times One of the big ones is your Saturn return, usually around 28 to 30, 29. These are some major like life switches where Saturn has made one complete cycle through. And well, she'll tell you about it. But anyway, there's a come to Jesus moment in it. And if you, again, have a different mindset, if you're a little aware about, God, why does everything feel so personal? Why is my life in upheaval? Why is everything changing drastically? There are certain points in our lives where there is a reinvention. We are brought to a point where we need to reinvent ourselves, to level up, to go in a new direction, to see what we're made of, our soul's growth. And it may not be exactly within the time, but it is creepy how intensely accurate some of this stuff can be. Check it out. If you're going through something really intense, something really wonderful right now, check out your temporary cycles impacting you right now. And it's amazing to see that everything is connected. There's a lot more going on that we're not aware of often, but yet no less susceptible to. Our souls are here to do something. We are on, we have free will, but we're here to accomplish what we came to do. So just, if you start putting that universal mindset on it, that eternal aspect of your soul is here, and it's been here, and it's going to be here again, but there are things that it's here to do, to connect with people, to connect with. It will change your outlook on life. So I really want you to check this out. I really encourage this. And then there's my pattern expanded and impacting me now expanded. That's the deeper dive where you really get into the meat. It really breaks it down. It just doesn't say, you're going to be more angry now. It tells you there's these influences that could be frustrating for you in this season for these reasons. And if you choose to embrace this energy, you can actually heal and grow beyond it. But if you avoid that, if you escape, if you try and dilute yourself, you're going to go through the patterns again and again. These cycles don't go away until you evolve out of them. I want to support you and help you connect to your intuitive voice and to your soul's alignment. This app has been one of the most amazing tools that I've been using it, God, for almost a decade now, like 8 years, I would say. I started in around 2017, and I have come back to it time and time again. I don't promote anything I don't stand behind. This for me, David, has been life-changing. It has been one of my biggest helpers in helping dive into the deeper parts of myself, to understanding myself on a whole new level I never even considered, I didn't know was available to me. So I want to hear what your opinions, your experiences are with this. Please go in with an open mind. If you're jaded, you are where you are. That's cool. But you will find the magic. I always say that. That's my catchphrase. Find the magic. Those who see, look for the magic, who believe in magic, are the ones who are going to see it. If you don't, then it's not for you. And that's okay. That's not for you. Let me know. I want to hear. Please write. Leave me some comments. I would love to hear from you and your experiences. It gratifies me so much when I share this app with other people or run bonds with people I'm curious about, So anyway, I love you guys. I hope this has helped. I can't wait to hear what you guys think about it. How about this? In the comments, leave us your sign. There's hotkeys, I think, for it, right? Yeah, alt whatever code. Leave your sign, and then maybe just one blurb that resonated or just pinned you, like just tagged you out of nowhere. Like it was undeniable. Like this is speaking to you. This is who you are, 100%. And let's go from there. I hope you guys have a great day, and check out the pattern. And Lisa Donovan, treasure. See you soon. Love you guys.